Building an eco-friendly beauty routine doesn't mean you have to settle for products that barely work or blow your entire budget on fancy green packaging. After spending months testing hundreds of sustainable formulas side by side with conventional ones, I can tell you this: when eco-effective products are formulated with real actives at concentrations that actually matter, they perform just as well, sometimes better. My name is Chloe Chen, and I've put together a complete breakdown of what you actually need.
You're listening to Luxury Beauty on a Budget podcast. Quick note before we jump in. The research, the data, every word of this script, all of it is created and verified by real human writers, but the voice you're hearing right now is AI generated. Just wanted to be upfront about that. If you've been listening to this show for a while, thank you. It genuinely makes my day knowing you keep coming back. And if you're brand new here, welcome. You're about to get some seriously practical beauty advice without the BS. We release new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you'll never run out of stuff to listen to. Now, here's what we've got for you today. This eco-effective beauty routine checklist breaks down every product category you actually need, the specific ingredients to look for with percentages that matter, and how to verify you're getting legitimate sustainability alongside clinical results. No fluff, no virtue signaling, just ingredient lists, price per ounce breakdowns, and performance metrics that prove eco-consciousness and efficacy aren't mutually exclusive. Whether you're overhauling your entire regimen or strategically swapping one product at a time, this checklist gives you the framework to build a routine that works for your skin and aligns with your values. Let's start with cleanser essentials and what you need to know about formula types and active concentrations. For your oil-based cleanser, and this is your first cleanse, look for MCT fractionated coconut oil or caprylic capric triglycerides as the base. You want this paired with plant-derived polysorbate 80 or decyl glucoside as emulsifiers that actually break down in wastewater within 28 days according to OECD 301 standards. Target price should be around 40 cents to 80 cents per ounce for bottles in the 4 to 6 ounce range. Your pH-balanced gel or cream cleanser is your second cleanse. The formula should clock in at 4.5 to 5.5 pH with glucosides or amino acid surfactants like sodium cocoyl glutamate or cocoa glucoside instead of sulfates. I've tested drugstore options from brands like CeraVe Hydrating Cleansing Milk, check the link below to see the current price, and La Roche-Posay that hit this spec at 35 to 60 cents per ounce versus luxury counterparts at $2 to $4 per ounce with identical surfactant profiles. For gentle exfoliating cleansers with biodegradable scrub particles, use these 2 to 3 times weekly. Jojoba esters, bamboo powder, or rice bran particles replace plastic microbeads without scratching your skin barrier. Particle size should be 200 to 500 microns for effective exfoliation. Anything smaller won't do much. Anything larger risks micro tears. Skip this if you're using chemical exfoliants regularly. Micellar water with plant-derived surfactants is perfect for travel or lazy days. Micellar formations use tiny oil droplets suspended in water via mild surfactants. Eco-effective versions swap synthetic surfactants for coconut-derived alternatives. The experience is identical to conventional micellar waters, same gentle cleansing action. Price should be around 30 to 50 cents per ounce for bottles in the 8 to 16 ounce range. For enzyme powder cleansers with papain or bromelain at 1 to 3% concentration, provides gentle exfoliation through protein breakdown. These formulas typically come as powders you mix with water, reducing packaging and preservative needs. I use these after heavy makeup days. They dissolve everything without stripping. If you have dry skin, cleansing balms with shea butter bases work beautifully. Shea butter solidifies at room temperature, melts at skin temperature, and rinses clean with the right emulsifier blend. Look for 40 to 60% shea or kokum butter with 20 to 30% lightweight oils like squalane or rosehip, and 10 to 15% emulsifiers. The texture is incredible, like expensive Clinique or Emma Hardy balms, but around 60 cents to $1 per ounce instead of $3 to $5 $5 per ounce. Now let's talk about treatment serums, active ingredients, and sustainability standards. For vitamin C serums with stable derivatives, here's what you need to know. L-ascorbic acid oxidizes quickly and requires energy-intensive stabilization. Eco-effective alternatives use ascorbyl glucoside, sodium ascorbyl phosphate, or 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid at 10 to 20% concentration. They're shelf-stable, effective, and don't require refrigerated shipping. I keep both in my routine, and honestly, the derivatives work just as well for brightening without the oxidation paranoia. Retinol or bakuchiol serums with minimal packaging are key players. You want retinol at 0.3 to 1% in recyclable glass with minimal secondary packaging, or bakuchiol at 0.5 to 2% as a plant-based alternative with comparable cell turnover benefits. Bakuchiol doesn't require the same photostabilization, reducing manufacturing complexity. The ordinary retinol 0.5% in squalane, check the link below to see the current price, along with Versed and the Inky List, nail this category at around 80 cents to $2 per ounce. Niacinamide serum at 5 to 10% concentration is essential. Niacinamide, which is vitamin B3, strengthens barrier function, reduces inflammation, and regulates sebum at concentrations above 5%. It's water-soluble, stable at room temperature, and doesn't require special packaging. Most eco-effective brands can bottle this in glass with post-consumer recycled materials. Target around 50 cents to $1.50 per ounce for 1 to 2 ounce dropper bottles. Hyaluronic acid serums need a multi-weight blend. Look for formulas listing at least 2 molecular weights, low-weight HA at 50 to 300 kilodaltons for deeper penetration, and high-weight HA at 1,000 to 1,800 kilodaltons for surface hydration. Bonus points if it's derived from plant fermentation rather than animal sources. The texture should feel plumping, not sticky. If it pills under makeup, the formulation is off. Peptide serums with copper peptides or matrix cell stimulate collagen production. Copper peptides, that's GHKCU at 1 to 2%, or matrix cell, which is palmityl pentapeptide 4 at 3 to 5%, are what you're looking for. These are synthesized actives, but eco-effective brands source them from suppliers with documented environmental standards. I've compared $12 drugstore peptide serums to $150 luxury versions. The active percentages are often identical. Plant-based bioregenerative serums are where eco-effective formulations really shine. Plant stem cell extracts, growth factors from biofermentation, and phytoestrogens deliver bioregenerative benefits without animal-derived ingredients or extensive processing. Look for apple stem cells, Edelweiss extracts, or EGF from barley at 2 to 5% concentration. Moving on to moisturizers and SPF, barrier support and UV protection. Your ceramide-rich moisturizer needs a 1 to 1 to 1 ratio. Your skin's natural lipid barrier maintains a 1 to 1 to 1 ratio of ceramides to cholesterol to fatty acids. Look for formulas explicitly listing this ratio with ceramide NP, ceramide AP, and ceramide EOP at 2 to 5% total concentration. Brands like Halika Halika, Sunjung, and CeraVe Moisturizing Cream, check the link below to see the current price, hit this spec in recyclable packaging at around 40 to 80 cents per ounce. Facial oils need cold-pressed extraction. Cold-pressed oils retain more antioxidants and fatty acids than heat-extracted versions. Rosehip, marula, and squalane from sugarcane, not shark liver, are eco-effective staples. The molecular weight matters. Squalane at 400 Dal penetrates easily, while rosehip at 600 to 700 Dal sits slightly more superficial. I use 3 to 4 drops mixed into moisturizer or alone on damp skin. Barrier repair creams with centella and beta-glucan work wonders. Centella asiatica, also called Sika, at 1 to 5% paired with beta-glucan at 1 to 3%, soothes inflammation and accelerates barrier recovery. Korean brands manufacture these formulas at incredible quality-to-price ratios. Think around 50 cents to $1 per ounce for products that would cost $3 to $5 per ounce with Western luxury packaging. The texture is usually gel cream, absorbs in 30 to 60 seconds, and layers beautifully. For mineral SPF 30 to 50 with non-nano zinc oxide, here's the deal. Non-nano zinc oxide, that's particles larger than 100 nanometers, doesn't penetrate skin or accumulate in water systems like chemical filters can. Target 15 to 25% zinc oxide concentration for SPF 30 to 50. Yes, mineral formulas can leave a white cast on deeper skin tones. Look for versions with iron oxides added for tint. Australian and Korean brands excel here at around 80 cents to $1.50 per ounce.
Tinted sunscreen with skin-responsive pigments is genuinely impressive technology. These use pH-reactive pigments that adjust to your skin tone, reducing the need for 12+ shade ranges and associated manufacturing waste. The technology is legit. I've tested these across 5 different skin tones, and the adaptation is genuinely impressive. Price point is around $1 to $2 per ounce for SPF 30+ formulas. Night creams with time-release retinol or encapsulated actives extend the release of actives over 6 to 8 hours, increasing efficacy while reducing irritation and packaging waste because you need less product per application. Look for retinol microspheres or liposomal niacinamide. The texture is typically richer than day creams. They should feel occlusive without being greasy. Let's hit into specialty treatments, targeted solutions, and active percentages. AHA, BHA, exfoliating toners or serums are fundamental. Glycolic acid at 5 to 10%, that's an AHA, for surface exfoliation. Salicylic acid at 0.5 to 2%, that's a BHA, for pore penetration. Or lactic acid at 5 to 10%, a gentler AHA for sensitive skin. Eco-effective versions package these in glass with minimal preservatives, since acids are self-preserving. pH should be 3.0 to 4.0 for efficacy. Test with pH strips if you're nerdy like me. Tranexamic acid serum for hyperpigmentation works through a different pathway than vitamin C or niacinamide. Tranexamic acid at 2 to 5% inhibits melanin production. It's synthesized but requires less complex manufacturing than many actives. I've been testing this against $200 luxury melasma treatments. The $15 drugstore version with 3% tranexamic acid performs identically over 8 weeks. Azelaic acid suspension for acne and redness is naturally derived from grains and targets both acne and hyperpigmentation. Azelaic acid at 10 to 20% is what you need. The texture is usually a thick suspension that can pill slightly. Apply it last in your routine or buffer it with moisturizer. It's gentler than prescription-strength adapalene, but works slower. Expect 8 to 12 weeks versus 6 to 8 weeks. Probiotic essence or ferment filtrate supports skin microbiome health and provides gentle exfoliation without acids. Fermented ingredients like galactomyces, bifida, or lactobacillus are what we're talking about here. Korean and Japanese brands have been formulating these for decades. Fermentation is an eco-effective process that increases bioavailability of nutrients. The texture ranges from watery to viscous, patted in before serums. Eye creams with caffeine and peptides address puffiness and aging. Caffeine at 2 to 5% constricts blood vessels, reducing puffiness, paired with peptides for collagen support. Eye creams are notorious for luxury markup. I've compared $200 prestige versions to $12 drugstore alternatives with identical active lists. The smaller molecular size near the delicate eye area matters more than brand names. Facial oils with adaptogens or antioxidants provide extra benefits. Adaptogenic ingredients like ashwagandha, reishi, or holy basil in oil suspension provide antioxidant benefits alongside occlusion. These are increasingly common in eco-effective lines since plant extracts align with sustainability positioning. Apply 2 to 3 drops as your last PM step or mix into foundation for luminosity. Sheet masks or biodegradable cellulose masks are worth discussing. Traditional sheet masks use non-biodegradable materials and single-use packaging. Eco-effective alternatives use biodegradable cellulose, bamboo fiber, or coconut pulp that decompose in weeks instead of decades. The serum formulation matters more than the mask material. Look for 3 to 5 actives at meaningful concentrations, not fragrance and fillers. Spot treatments with encapsulated benzoyl peroxide or sulfur are effective without complexity. Benzoyl peroxide at 2.5 to 5% encapsulated to reduce irritation, or sulfur at 3 to 10% for sensitive skin work well. Both are effective acne treatments that don't require complex manufacturing. Packaging should be opaque to prevent degradation. Dark glass or recyclable plastic tubes work fine. Now let's cover hair and scalp care, skinification actives, and sustainable formulations. Scalp exfoliating treatments with AHAs or BHAs use the same acids that work on your face, glycolic acid at 5 to 8% or salicylic acid at 0.5 to 2%, dissolve buildup and support healthy follicles. This is part of the skinification of hair trend, treating your scalp like facial skin with targeted actives. Peptide hair serums for growth and density contain copper peptides, hexapeptide 11, or biotin at 1 to 3% concentration. Peptides in hair care penetrate the hair shaft differently based on molecular weight. Look for formulas under 500 Daltons for better absorption. I apply these to damp scalp at night, focusing on thinning areas. Niacinamide scalp serum at 3 to 5% regulates sebum, reduces inflammation, and supports barrier function on the scalp just like on facial skin. It's the same ingredient doing the same work, just in a different location. Hyaluronic acid hair masks use low-weight HA at 50 to 100 kilodaltons that penetrates the hair cuticle to hydrate from within. The debate between hyaluronic acid versus glycerin for hair comes down to molecular weight and climate. HA works better in humid environments, glycerin in dry climates. Silicone-free conditioner with plant butters contains shea butter, mango butter, or cocoa butter at 5 to 15%. These provide slip and moisture without silicones that accumulate and require harsh sulfates for removal. The texture won't be as slippery as silicone-loaded formulas initially, but your hair adjusts within 2 to 3 wash cycles. Eco-effective packaging means aluminum tubes or glass jars. Scalp serums with retinol or bakuchiol at 0.1 to 0.3% increase cell turnover and may support hair growth through increased blood flow. Application frequency and layering protocols matter to avoid irritation. Protein treatments with hydrolyzed keratin or silk temporarily fill gaps in damaged hair cuticles. Hydrolyzed proteins under 1,000 DAT are what you need. These should be used weekly or bi-weekly, not daily. Too much protein makes hair brittle. The eco-effective angle here is that plant proteins from rice, quinoa, or pea work similarly to animal-derived keratin at lower environmental cost. Let's talk about makeup essentials, skin-responsive technology, and clean formulations. Skin-responsive tint with SPF 30+ is where eco-effective beauty gets exciting. pH-reactive pigments adapt to your skin tone, reducing manufacturing waste from multiple shade SKUs. The chemistry is fascinating. Basically, pigments shift in response to your skin's pH and temperature. I've tested these against my luxury foundations, and the finish is identical: natural, breathable, radiant. Cream bronzer in recyclable compacts requires fewer preservatives than liquids and lasts longer, meaning less product waste. Look for bronzers with iron oxides and mica for color, shea butter or plant waxes for texture. Refillable compacts are becoming standard in eco-effective lines. You buy the outer case once, then purchase refill pans. Powder blush with natural pigments uses mineral pigments like iron oxides and ultramarines, along with plant-derived colors from beetroot or hibiscus, to replace synthetic dyes. The color payoff is comparable if the pigment concentration is 5 to 10%. Pressed powder format is the most eco-effective. It lasts years, doesn't require pumps or droppers, and ships light. Tinted lip balm with plant oils and waxes combines castor oil, sunflower oil, and candelia wax, which is a vegan alternative to beeswax, for moisture and natural shine. Iron oxides at 1 to 3% give sheer color. These formulas skip synthetic fragrance and petroleum derivatives. The effect is like expensive Glossier or Tower 28 lip tints, but around 50 cents to $1.50 per tube instead of $16 to $18. Mascara with plant-based waxes substitutes carnauba wax, candelilla wax, or rice bran wax for petroleum-based waxes. Tube-in formulas create tubes around lashes that slide off with warm water, making them the most eco-effective. No oil-based makeup remover needed. The brush matters more than the formula. Look for small, densely packed bristles for definition. Brow gel with natural hold polymers uses acacia gum or plant-derived film formers for hold without synthetic polymers. Clear gels should dry down in 30 to 60 seconds without flaking. Tinted versions use iron oxides at 1 to 2% concentration. I've tested $4 drugstore brow gels against $24 prestige versions. The hold is identical if the polymer concentration is 2 to 5%. Moving to body care, sustainable formulations, and active delivery. Body wash with biodegradable surfactants contains decyl glucoside, laurel glucoside, or cocoa glucoside derived from coconut and corn. These break down completely in wastewater treatment within 28 days per OECD biodegradation standards. Target price is around 30 to 60 cents per ounce for 12 to 60-ounce bottles. The lather won't be as aggressive as sulfate formulas, but that's actually gentler on your skin barrier. Body lotion with ceramides and urea combines ceramide NP at 1 to 3% plus urea at 5 to 10% for intense hydration and barrier repair. Urea is a humectant that also gently exfoliates at concentrations above 10%. Eco-effective brands package these in aluminum tubes or glass bottles, both infinitely recyclable. Body oil with organic certification through USDA Organic or Cosmos verifies pesticide-free cultivation and sustainable farming. Jojoba, sweet almond, and coconut oil are affordable organic options at around 40 cents to $1 per ounce in bulk sizes. I apply these to damp skin immediately post-shower for maximum absorption. The occlusion traps water in your skin. AHA body lotion for keratosis pilaris uses glycolic acid or lactic acid at 5 to 12% to smooth rough texture and bumps. Higher percentages at 10 to 12% work faster but may irritate sensitive skin. The texture should be creamy lotion, not watery. Amlactin and CeraVe SA make affordable versions at around 35 to 50 cents per ounce that perform identically to prestige brands. Retinol body lotion for texture and aging contains retinol at 0.1 to 0.5%. On the body, it increases cell turnover and smooths crepey texture. Apply at night since retinol increases photosensitivity. The Ordinary, CeraVe, and Versed make versions at around 60 cents to $1 per ounce. Don't overpay for fancy packaging on large format body products. Deodorant with baking soda alternatives is important because baking soda causes irritation for many people. Eco-effective alternatives use zinc ricinoate, magnesium hydroxide, or arrowroot powder for odor absorption. The texture ranges from cream to paste to stick. Find what works for your application preference. Natural deodorants require a 1 to 2 week adjustment period as your body chemistry changes. Here's your final check before you go. Your eco-effective beauty routine checklist should include these core categories. For core cleansing, you need an oil-based first cleanser, pH-balanced second cleanser, and biodegradable micellar water as backup. Active treatments should include vitamin C or a derivative, retinol or bakuchiol, niacinamide at 5 to 10%, and hyaluronic acid in a multi-weight formula.
Barrier support requires a ceramide moisturizer in that 1:1:1 ratio, a cold-pressed facial oil, and a barrier repair cream with centella. Sun protection means non-nano mineral SPF 30 to 50 and tinted sunscreen with skin-responsive pigments. Targeted solutions include an AHA/BHA exfoliant and treatment serums for specific concerns like tranexamic acid or azelaic acid. Scalp care involves an exfoliating treatment with acids, peptide or niacinamide serum, and silicone-free conditioner. Makeup basics are a skin-responsive tint with SPF, cream bronzer and blush in refillable compacts, and tinted lip balm. Body essentials include body wash with biodegradable surfactants, ceramide plus urea lotion, and retinol or AHA treatment. Here are the active percentages to verify. Niacinamide 5 to 10%, retinol 0.3 to 1%, vitamin C derivatives 10 to 20%, AHAs 5 to 12%, ceramides 2 to 5%, peptides 1 to 3%. Sustainability markers to look for: OECD biodegradation certification, USDA organic or Cosmos for oils, recyclable glass or aluminum packaging, refillable compacts, and minimal secondary packaging. Price targets you should aim for: cleansers around 30 to 80 cents per ounce, serums around 50 cents to $2 per ounce, moisturizers around 40 cents to $1 per ounce, SPF around 80 cents to $1.50 per ounce, and body products around 30 to 60 cents per ounce. Let's tackle some frequently asked questions. What's the difference between eco-effective and traditional beauty products? Eco-effective beauty products use biodegradable ingredients, sustainable sourcing, and minimal packaging while maintaining clinical active concentrations. Traditional products often prioritize performance without considering environmental impact, but well-formulated, sustainable options perform identically when active percentages match.
How do I know if eco-effective beauty products actually work? Check the active ingredient percentages on the label. If your eco-effective serum contains 10% niacinamide or 0.5% retinol, it will perform identically to a traditional version with the same concentrations. Cosmetic chemistry doesn't care about sustainability claims. The molecular structure of actives determines efficacy. Brands like The Ordinary, The Inky List, and Good Molecules prove eco-conscious formulations deliver clinical results at budget prices. Can I build an eco-effective routine on a strict budget? Yes, because eco-effective doesn't mean expensive. Drugstore brands like CeraVe, Versed, and Good Molecules offer sustainable packaging and clean formulations at around 30 cents to $1.50 per ounce, which is often cheaper than traditional luxury products. Prioritize core products with proven actives like vitamin C, retinol, niacinamide, ceramides, and SPF over trendy treatments. Buy multi-use products like facial oils that work on both face and body to maximize value. Here are my final thoughts. Building your eco-effective beauty routine checklist is about matching your values to verifiable performance metrics, not trading efficacy for sustainability theater. After testing hundreds of formulas across every price point, I'm convinced that eco-effectiveness in 2026 is accessible at every budget. The brands that nail this balance understand cosmetic chemistry first and sustainability second. They don't greenwash minimal impact changes or charge premium prices for basic formulations in recycled packaging. Your routine should work for your skin type, fit your budget, and align with your environmental priorities. Start with 1 or 2 strategic swaps, maybe a bioregenerative serum or a barrier repair cream with documented active percentages, and build from there. The beauty industry is shifting toward transparency, sustainable sourcing, and honest pricing. You don't need to compromise on results to make eco-conscious choices. You just need to know what to look for. And now you do. That wraps up today's episode of Luxury Beauty on a Budget podcast. Thanks for hanging out and listening all the way through. Just a reminder, new episodes drop every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you'll always have something new to learn. If you found this episode useful, I'd be so grateful if you could leave a 5-star rating and write a quick review. It sounds small, but it genuinely helps other people discover the show when they're searching for real beauty advice that won't drain their bank account. And hey, hit that subscribe or follow button so you get a notification the second a new episode goes live. Talk soon!